Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining for an episode here at Fast Break on IA Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all his sports. And on tonight's episode, we'll be talking about the NorthWest Division, previewing that part of the NBA. Can the Denver Nuggets repeat as NBA champions? When will the Portland Trailblazers trade Damian Lillard? Can Minnesota kind of get out the bottom of the standings and kind of be a perennial playoff contender, or they still be just below average? The OKC Thunder made the play-in last year. Is it their time to shine, or are they just another year away? And the Utah Jazz, I really don't know. They just kind of there. But we'll discuss that and much more here on IA Sports Radio. This is Fast Break. Happy Sunday to y'all. On September 24th, 2023. We're going to get to this right now. And join us as you shout tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Lots to talk about, lots to get into, lots to discuss here on the show, here on the network. Happy Sunday to y'all. If your team won the NFL, hey, that is great. If your team lost, that's okay as well. Because the draft class coming up is pretty damn deep. I'm not just talking about the quarterbacks either. So there is something else that to think about. But D-Lock, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Another week close to the NBA season starter. This is a great season. It's a great time of the year because you got football going on, both college and professional. Also, obviously, high school. And then basketball starts to kick up. So, but like you said, man, congrats to those teams fans that got the teams that won today. The team lost, like the Vikings and other teams. There's some good quarterbacks in this draft coming up. So, but yeah, great Sunday, and my Bucks play tomorrow, so feeling pretty good.
Yeah, everybody's feeling pretty good. I know one person who's not feeling really good, D-Lock, and I don't know when he gets his wish, whatever, but Damian Lillard. And it's kind of so fitting that he gets talked about in his first part right here. Stories coming about a couple days ago that, Heat Blazers resumed talks about getting the trade done. They said no deal is imminent, but, things are getting pushed along. Reports are saying that Portland's asking for everything in the world for Damian Lillard. Miami's kind of, stick to their stance or whatever. Now they talk about other teams maybe getting involved for Damian Lillard. There's stories about Portland, Chicago, maybe being in the mix. I said Toronto, excuse me. Chicago be in the mix possibly for the services of Damian Lillard. Every team could be involved to make the trade go through, like the Phoenix Suns, for example. So a lot of things have been going about how to get this trade done. But D-Lock, do you foresee the Damian Lillard trade going through? Because I put it like this. The Portland GM, I forgot his name, but he got to be careful how he plays this because he can't be like what Washington did with Bradley Beal and not getting assets like first round picks and stuff back. He's got to be smart. You got to take, I don't want to say take what he get, but if he gets to like some young players, a couple of first round picks, and you got roasted. But what do you think? When does this saga gets done for the Blazers?
Well, my thing is we've been hearing so much about this uh, trade opportunity for the longest, and we've been hearing obviously, uh, the team he wants to go to, the Miami Heat. We've been hearing, I guess the packages that they sent them. Uh, Obviously, another thing that I believe we're hearing that they are going to need to get a third team involved. So to me, man, it's gonna be a while, man. Opening night is October 24th. Preseason to come around, but I think right now that it is gonna take, for this trade to get through. Miami's probably gonna have to make some calls with other teams, see if they can get involved. But to me, I believe that this is something that is going to take some time because I think Portland is, still hurting the fact that they're going to have to move Dame, but these are the decisions that they have to work on, have to make, and they're going to have to take some pieces because in most trades, you trade a player like a Dame, you're not going to get all the full assets back for him. So they have to understand that, accept that. But hell, it's not going to look too good if they do try to start the season with him. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, to be honest with you. I say I'd give it maybe, well, hard to give you a date, man, because they go back and forth with it. I'll say this. I don't think it gets done before opening day.
You think it's a good timeline right there? I'm not going to front. For me, I it's like training camp here is about like at least a week away. I would hope something get done. I doubt it. Anything we got done this weekend with college football and NFL going on right now, especially on the weekend. College football, Deion losing, everybody just having a field day with that. And then of course NFL Sunday and stuff like that. All that going on, all that stuff. So I think the NBA maybe trying to hold them off and push off a day or so, or maybe Tuesday. So I say maybe by Tuesday at least they try and get this done. But like I said, like Portland GM, he can't you know mess around with this. I seen reports that not Portland, Toronto is interested. We kind of talked about on the show in the past that they kind of do need some more guard help after watching this past season. Like, damn, they needed a guard. Yeah, I know they sound Dennis Schroeder. I know Dennis Schroeder probably hearing, Toronto being real interested in Dame. It's kind of like he probably grinding his gears right now. Like, damn, I finally get another starting spot, and they trying to trade for Dame.
You'll have to pack it up.
So it's just like, I don't know. I'm reading an article from Sports Illustrated about Joseph Salvador. Blazers refusing to talk to Heat about Damian Lillard trade, per Insider. Apparently, according to the article, apparently the Blazers have gone so far to give the Heat the silent treatment. Portland said, Portland is refusing to talk to Miami. Miami understands that they don't have the assets. I don't know how, but they want to know, hey, Portland, we'll evolve a third, 14, but communicate with us and let us know what you're looking for. It hasn't gotten to that stage. So I get Portland trying to get what they want for Dame. one of their all-time players in franchise history. I get that. But you got to realize when to turn that chapter in your franchise. And now it's kind of time to turn that page in your franchise and give the keys to your young blood, namely one Scoot Henderson. We talked about this in the summer. We see him play that game against the Rockets. Kid looked very good. Got hurt, but he looked very promising. And I think we discussed at that time, it was like, Portland needs to play him, give him good quality minutes from the gate to have him grow along with Simons and Sharp and Murray, who you drafted in the draft as well. If you get those nice 4 young guys right there up and going and stuff like that, D-Lock, I think you got a nice squad in the future. Find somebody good in the middle that can stay healthy. Get a couple more shooters, to surround the team. I think now you kind of do something. Chauncey at the helm to coach this young man. Now you kind of get something going.
Right.
And if this GM want to kind of ask for everything in the world and our credit card numbers, then he's not going to get what he needs. Now, I kind of go back to the Bradley Beal situation. Washington, I commend them getting rid of Bill, but I just kind of hate they didn't get no first-round picks back. Same thing Dylan Porzingis. You get no first-round picks back. So, Portland, if Miami at least got one first-round pick, whatever, unprotected, they got to take it. If they're giving that and a couple of young assets, you got to take it. If they got the go ahead.
That's the thing about Portland. Like I said, they're trying to get the same thing back for Dame, and that's a very hard thing that's going to happen. Very slim chance that's going to happen. So, for me, I think that they need to accept that. Like you said, the article says they're giving Miami a silent treatment, knowing damn well that's where he want to go. So that's not helping anything. So I think, to that question, as far as when this trade gets done, it's all on Portland. You have the young pieces, like you said, and we'll go over throughout the the previews, but this is something that they have to deal with and they have to accept. Listen, you're not going to get everything back for Dame. Take those young pieces that you get you some more assets, and move on from there.
Yeah, it's not even, and I think kind of doing, because let's be real, if Dame really wanted to leave, he would have left a long time ago. And this guy gave y'all a lot of great moments up there in Portland. Gave you, a lot of his time up there. It's not too far from Northern California, where he, originally from that Oakland area. He kind of, I don't say he felt like at home, but the distance, stuff like that, like he always felt like he could go back home and stuff like that. So I think that's why he loved playing for Portland so much. Okay. Like, I'm not too far from my peoples. Now I kind of like, damn, help me out here, dog. Do something for me. Accommodate me for once. If Paul Allen was still alive, would this deal got done sooner? I don't know. Does though other teams interested like the Raptors and Bulls, do they get something done? But let me ask you this before we do our previews: if Willard gets traded to somewhere else, do you see him playing for that team?
Well, I think go back to the reason why he wanted to go to Miami. He wanted to go to a playoff and NBA Finals contending team. Now, I originally remember Dan was the one that said he didn't want to do teaming up with anybody or stuff like that. But I'll say a couple teams that they trade for him, which I don't know if they have the packages. This is just me throwing out a few teams. I say a couple teams that he'll play for. Number one, the Lakers. I don't know if it's possible, but if the Lakers were to find a way to trade for Dame, ain't no way in hell he don't sit out. He sits out. Boston. That's another team that we talk about what they owe or the players that got to pay Tatum and Brown. If he goes there, however, without question. Milwaukee. I think that if he goes there, he plays clearly because of what they have. Giannis over there already basically saying they want to be a contending team, so they may try to get some pieces for him. And lastly, I would throw in there is Philly, the Sixers. If he gets traded to anywhere else, in my mind, I don't think he plays outside the Heat, obviously. But anywhere else, I don't think that he plays. I think his destination, his desire to be in Miami, I think that's very important to him. So if it's not those teams in Miami, I doubt he plays.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like only thing that if he tries not to play withhold his game checks and stuff like that, where teams start finding him not showing up, and he makes a lot of money, especially if he goes somewhere like Toronto, where you got to pay double the taxes and all that stuff. Does he really want to do that? This is why, like we always discuss, like the NBA is a players' league. Yeah, it's nice to be committed to a place and stuff like that. And we talked about on last week's show, about being traded and stuff like that. You gotta trust folks on that good stuff. You gotta leave immediately to your other team to do the physical all that good jazz. No pun intended. But if you don't want to go somewhere, if you go somewhere, you know, go where you want. Go where your heart is. Do 1 year deals so the market gets right. If you get traded like Chicago or Toronto or something like that, Chicago. What do you got? What they got to offer, D-Lock?
They ain't got nothing. The Bulls are shit.
And
ain't nothing too much hot over there.
And then they start handing out big money to these other guards and stuff like that. So you're like thinking like, Okay, they really can't trade nobody till like January. Portland, same boat. Dennis Schroeder, he got his contract, but he can't trade him to like these January as well. So it's like if you really look at it, Miami seems like the only place. If Phoenix gets involved, as some reports are indicating to kind of facilitate that trade, does DeAndre Ayton get moved and all that stuff? There's a lot of questions, moving parts there. But before we get to our previews, like I said, that GM for the Blazers, he cannot mess around with this. Trade a guy and get the young guys going. And this is how
go somewhere, so make the move.
And this is how how some of these GMs lose their jobs because sometimes they don't think. At times they don't think.
No, they try to wait to see if they can get the biggest deal or pull off some deal that that can't be on the table, because if he doesn't get the deal done, like Portland, Dame is going to leave at some point. So your best bet is to get what you can get from him now and keep your job. If you don't, now you're looking for more trouble.
So we'll talk more about Portland here in a second. But before we get started with our preview, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in with us here on the network, IE Sports Radio. Do check out IESportsRadio.com for all your latest shows, news, and feeds, and all that stuff. And also, our presenting sponsor, Planet Jerky. Do give a look, planetjerky.net. You sign up for their newsletter, put your email address in. You can stay updated on new products and special promotions. Planet Jerky got lots of flavors. For Carolina Reaper Premium Brisket, that's on sale for $10 right now. Also, you got the Cowboy Beef Jerky Original, $15. Cowboy Beef Jerky Sweet and Hot. Ghost Pepper Premium Brisket, on sale also for $10. And Smoking Barbecue Style Premium Biscuit, $10 as well. So they got a lot of sales going on the website. Family size premium brisket barbecue style, $20, 7 ounces. You cannot beat that. With this economy we're in right now, you see sales like these, you got to take advantage of them. So check out planetjerky.net for all your jerky needs if you love jerky. Also, they got a nice gift shop as well. So do check out planetjerky.net if you love premium brisket jerky. To the chat, I want to shout out to the chat. Terry Rodriguez, Larry B in the chat. Thank y'all very much. We're about to get started our preview series from 1 to 5. As number 1, as your team is going to come out on top of the division, to your number 5, who's going to finish last. 1 through 5, who y'all think is going to win this division in the Northwest? That includes the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, Utah Jazz, and Portland Trailblazers. Who y'all think is going to come out in the division? Let us know in the chat. But D-Lock, I'll let you go first. 5 to 1. Who do you got in the Northwest Division?
Well, this division is actually was a little bit better than I thought last year. So it was kind of tough putting them together, especially seeing the pieces that were added through all season. But I'll start at number 5, bottom team. I'll start out with Utah Jazz. Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, marketing. I like those pieces, but like you alluded to earlier when you said Utah, what are they doing? Do they know what they're doing? This team is I do see Jordan Clarkson taking more of a bigger role on this team. Um, Signing John Collins still has me scratching my head for trading for him. I want to see more out of Walker Kessler.
Yeah.
I want to see him make that big step. Obviously, got all them damn draft picks, so they are setting up, for a big move moving forward. Also, another person I want to see a lot from this year, Taylor Horton Tucker. We only seen a lot from him when they had a lot of injuries. And it seems like that's the role that he's playing, is the guy that comes in and benefits from key injuries like a Martin or a Clarkson. So I just don't see, where this team is actually going right at the moment. I think it's still kind of. I think we'll see them actually make a few trades during the season. I don't think they're done. I think that this roster will continue to move uh, over the next season. Number 4, I got the Portland Trailblazers. Got them here because, for one, obviously we know the Dame situation, but as much as they are basically trying to keep Dame, I mean, you ain't got Scoot Henderson.
Excuse me.
I mean, Scoot Henderson is clearly, that guy who I think is a great replacement for, or a good person to get that can step in, after trading Dame. You got him, got Anthony Simmons assignments, and young core with Shade Sharp. I think you got a few good guards there. What kind of has me nervous about this team is the big position. You got Jerami Grant, but they're not really big down low like that. Yusuf Nurkic is very inconsistent. He'll play and then be hurt, be gone for 2-3 weeks. So that is what my worry is with this team. Now maybe, with this trade, that could be somewhere where they're trying to patch up. But I have them at 4, even with the Dame situation up in the air. I just like the young pieces that they have. I actually see them going in a better direction than the Jazz right now. So I think that Portland, if they can make this big announcement, this big trade, move forward with your young pieces as you alluded to, and get to going, I think Portland should be kind of headed in the right direction if they can do that. Number 3, I got the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that this team played pretty well last year, in my eyes, with the pieces that they have had. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is coming to his own. I like Josh Giddey. Jalen Williams is looking outstanding, both of them actually. And the biggest piece that they're getting back is Chet Holmgren. And I think when you get, somebody of that caliber on your team, I think he's going to improve everything on that team, especially on the offensive side and defense. Actually, if he can stay healthy, I think he makes a huge impact for this team. You got Jalen Williams, and they kind of struggled, in the big area last year. We didn't really see too much Jeremiah Earl Robinson last year. Played well. There were times where you had Jalen Williams or Pokes V at the 5. So they were kind of playing small ball for the most part. So for me, getting the Chet Holmgren with the guy that they have already on this roster, not sure what to expect from Victor Oladipo. But I like this core guys that they have. I think that with an all-star in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, this team can go a long way. If that backcourt can play consistent, I could definitely see them being in the mix, mix, being somewhere with, playing somewhere. I don't know if they make the playoffs just yet, but I think they definitely will be in the mix in this division. Number 2, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards had a hell of an offseason. The biggest thing that I have with this team, and I will hope that they put it together, and I was on them a couple of years ago. You got Anthony Edwards, and now you have, both Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. They should be able to defend the glass at any point. And this is where they were inconsistent last year. Not only do you have Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, but you also got Naz Reid, who's an outstanding player, especially when he get the minutes. I want to see more from Jaden McDaniels and Kyle Anderson, who, like I said, if they wanted to go small ball, they can with these guys. But this team has everything that they need. They need to get on the same schedule. You have a Anthony Edwards, I think a superstar coming into his own. I think he needs to be the one that leads this group. But the bigs, as far as Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, they need to get on the set schedule as well. If they can find a way to play together, which is what the biggest problem was last year, I think the Timberwolves can be pretty good. But hell, Karl Anthony Towns don't need to be on the damn court taking threes half the time he out there. But that's definitely what's hurting them big time. But I think that the Timberwolves could be pretty decent, but the West is very tough. And number 1, obviously, got the NBA champion Denver Nuggets. You got, in my eyes, the best player in the league in Nikola Jokic. You got all your pieces back outside of one, and Bruce Brown, which I think he's gonna. They'll definitely miss him. But Eric Gore, Michael Porter's still there. If you can get some consistent play from Michael Porter, and we talked about this during the offseason, you can get some consistent play from Michael Porter. I think this team can definitely be back in the running to repeat as NBA Finals champs. You have Jamal Murray, Caldwell Pope coming back. Caldwell Pope has his inconsistent games, but he's a hell of a defender. And I think that's what he brings to this Denver team, which is what they need. The only thing, like I said, for me, that I believe that they may have a slight issue with is that bench. Not too much sold on Reggie Jackson. Justin Holiday, he's bounced from team to team. Haven't seen too much from him. But for me, once they got those core guys, the main core guys, I think Denver is still at the top. Top of the Northwest, and I think that they'll definitely be up there and have that top 2, top 3 seed in the West. So for me, Utah at 5, Portland at 4, Thunder at 3, which is the biggest surprise, I'm sure, to most people. Minnesota at 2, NBA champ Denver Nuggets at number 1.
All right. Good stuff there. Real quick for me, number 5, I got the Portland Trailblazers. Now, this kind of hinges upon Damian Lillard being traded before training camp. If he's not, I'll probably push him ahead of Utah. I don't think he'll sit out games. But we'll just go with the scenario that he is traded by training camp. I got to start a lineup. If he's traded by training camp, I got to start a lineup of Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Todd Boulay, Jeremiah Grant, and Nurkic. It's been a weird off season for them. Lillard requests the trade. They seem like they've been doing the standoff for Lillard on the trade. Then you give Jeremiah Grant the contract extension, even though you're a young team. And shout out to him, he got his money, all that stuff. But I was thinking like, y'all before the contract extension, y'all drafted a player similar to him in Chris Murray from Iowa. So that I'm looking at like y'all kind of doing like a lot of hustling backwards type of deals. You drafted Scoot Henderson, who I think you take the best player available and you do that again in that scenario again. So weird off season for them. Shaden Sharp, how does he progress in year 2? Does he show growth to be that 2 guard to maybe give him the starting role down the line? How does he play come year 2? I think that's something we got to watch there, like how he's progressed in year 2 for his Portland team. And also like Chris Murray, like I mentioned, before. How much time does he get behind Jeremiah Grant? And if he can progress well, how soon do you ship out Jeremiah Grant to like a veteran team and get assets for him? So Portland got like 4 nice youngsters in Scoot Henderson, Simons, Shaden Sharp, and Chris Murray to kind of build his team around for the years to come. But they still kind of got these bloated contracts and these veterans kind of hindering that rebuild process in Nurkic, Grant, and Lillard. So it's a weird team, to say the least. And also Chauncey Billups at the helm. I think he'd be great for us, Henderson and all that. So I like that aspect as well. Let these 2 guys grow together as player, coach, and then we'll see how things go down the line for those guys. But I got Portland number 5. 4, I got the Utah Jazz. I got a starting lineup of Colin Sexton, Horton Tucker at the 2, Markkanen at the 3, John Collins at the 4, and Kessler at the 5. A big lineup right there, to say the least. A couple things for me. Can they fly under the radar? They brought back Jordan Clarkson. They brought in the trade for John Collins. Walker Kessler, he played for Team USA for FIBA over the summer. So you got that experience right there. But I'm looking at this team like, does anybody kind of sticks out? And that's the thing for me. Does anybody on the team really sticks out? They drafted Taylor Hendricks. It's kind of, I don't want to say similar to John Collins, but like you kind of look at him and you look at John Collins, they kind of like they play the same. And if you kind of skip down the road here in 3 years, is he gonna be like the same type of player that John Collins is now? So it's just like, are you delaying what you already have on your roster? Honest question. Colin Sexton, he got to be better facilitator. I know he can score and stuff like that, but facilitating with this group, can he do that? Got guys like Kelly Olynyk off the bench, you know. So how does he, contribute to the team? All that good stuff. Jordan Clarkson as well. Uh, Keontae George out of Baylor, I really like him. Coming out of school, how does he, fit into things? And can he be that future point guard for them down the line? Uh, Also for them, can Walker Kessler be a defensive presence for this team? Can he pick up that mantle that Rudy Gobert left when he got traded? Can Kessler come in and fill that void? He's going to have plenty of time to do it. I think he can do it and be one of perennial defensive guys in this league to come. But if he becomes one of those perennial defensive guys in this league, D-Lock, kind of go on marketing, who kind of had a kind of like a awakening playing for Utah. Jordan Clarkson come off the bench, Olynyk come off the bench. You kind of got something right there in Utah. And that's kind of a point to, can they fly under the radar? They're playing so good that people really don't notice, and then you gotta take notice with them. But I think this other teams are just better than them. This year that I don't think they ain't gonna sneak up on anybody. So I got them at number 4. Number 3, I got the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
You brought up Karl-Anthony Towns. I should start off with Anthony Edwards, but I'm gonna start with Karl-Anthony Towns. This dude in the league's been in the league for at least what? Let me pull this up. At least 9 years, something like that. Been in the league since 2015, so with 2023, so about 8-9 years. This dude can score. For a big man, he can shoot. But he's no Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett, at least, even though for Kevin Garnett's time in Minnesota, they're in the bottom. I don't say in the standings, but like kind of like hang around that 7 through 9 range in the standings year in, year out. At least, you got a game plan against Kevin Garnett. You got worry about Kevin Garnett. He's not only an offensive threat, especially in his younger days, but a defensive threat as well. I don't get that same. We never get that same intensity and stuff like that from Karl-Anthony Towns. And I think that's really kind of, especially in today's modern NBA, that's really kind of really been fascinating and kind of stunning this team's growth is him. And if he's, have like a little ounce of that what Garnett brought to the table years ago, I would have this team. I mean, this team be competing way better than they should. But he doesn't show up. Or he shows up for certain parts of the game and then kind of fades away. Which led me to Anthony Edwards. He kind of picked up that mantle. And I think, Minnesota's got to recognize, Alex Rodriguez and crew. They got to recognize, like, hey, can we win with this guy here? Anthony Edwards, I think he's cool. Cat, what can you get for him? I think, we kind of get to that point with Karl Anthony Towns that, he is who he is. He's a modern day Sam Perkins. No shady shape. I mean, I love Sam Perkins and stuff like that. Former Laker. But he's like an oversized Sam Perkins. I got a starting lineup for them. Mike Conley, Edwards, J.D. McDaniels at the 3, Cat, and Gobert. Also, this team, are some of the resources in the right places? Looking at this roster, they really don't got like a good backup point guard. The wing position. I mean, they got a couple guys, Troy Brown, Shake Milton, stuff like that. But can those guys contribute for this team? Nas Reed missed a lot of time last year. They gave him a big deal in all season. He can produce, but he could be consistent. Jay McDaniels, I really like a lot. Really become a good two-way player in this league. I do wonder, can they get younger at point guard somewhere around the trade deadline? And also Gobert. It seems like a lot of dudes don't like him on his team, whatever. That's another thing. Team continuity. Can they get past that? That's a fair thing to question. Can Chris Finch be that dude to kind of take him over the hump? I don't think so, but strange things have happened. But there's all those factors kind of like, I think Minnesota will be in the play-in again, but I don't see him making a playoff series. Which leads me to number 2, the OKC Thunder. This team is on the rise. This is like one of my gamble predictions in this preview series. I think if everybody stays healthy, I think they can make the playoffs. They'll be in that 7 through 10 range, but I think they'll make the playoffs. Now, a lot of things got to go for their way, D-Lock, for them to be in the top 6. I can envision them making it to 6, but I think the range should be 7 to 10. But I do see them making to the actual playoffs. Guys starting up as SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, the Williamsons, and Holmgren maybe. If they don't start Holmgren, put Dort in the lineup, and you got the Williams combination in there as well. Can this team take the next step? That's the main question. Can this team take the main next step? I think they can. They were kind of close to it this last year. They had a couple tries trying to make it to the playoffs. It didn't work out in their favor, but they're coming. And I think, like I said, the main thing for them, If they can stay healthy, I think they'll go a long way for them. So I got OKC at number 2. If they stay healthy and SGA continues to take that leap as a player, same thing with Josh Giddey, same thing with Williams, stuff like that. Dort and Holmgren, could show promise as well. Then that'll go a long way for them as well. I mean, for this team, I got them number 2. I'm banking on them to kind of mirror what that young OKC in generation past, like a Durant, Westbrook, Ibaka, Jeff Green, Kendrick Perkins. If they can like mirror that, that up and coming team and stuff like that, and kind of see that vision there, I think it'll go a long way for this group. But it all depends on their health and all that stuff. So I got them at number 2. Number 1, the Denver Nuggets, the defending NBA champions. I got them a starting lineup of Jamal Murray, KCP, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. Can they repeat? I think the odds are in their favor. They're going to have a lot of competition this upcoming year. Golden State, got older, but a lot wiser with Chris Paul. The Lakers, they kind of resigned their young bucks that kind of helped them get to that Western Conference Finals. And Jamar Reeves, they signed Gabe Vincent to the fold as well. Christian Wood with the Lakers as well. So you got that contingent. Dallas kept Kyrie. But, they also added, what's the dude's name for Sacramento? Name's tipping my tongue. Big man. Oh, God, what's his name? Oh, God, what's his name? Richaun Holmes. So,
yeah.
Dallas made that move. Phoenix made that move with Bradley Beal. Still got Devin Booker on that stuff. Got to worry about the young OKC team, which they ain't there yet, but you got to worry about them. Pelicans, if Zion can stay healthy, at one point last year, they were at top of the West. Memphis, they're still going to be around. Granted, no John Morant for a quarter of the season. So I'm not saying they could repeat D-Lock, but the road got a little bit tougher. Sacramento was a surprise to us this past last season. The Clippers, if they're healthy, they could play anybody with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So, can they repeat? Yeah, there's a good chance. But I think with them, they lost Bruce Brown, who's kind of a very, very, very key piece for them winning that championship. And he goes signs with the Indiana Pacers. So, now you got to have some of your draft picks step up. Christian Braun, can he step up to that role? He's going to get some of those minutes. Can he step up and be that guy? He showed flashes of it last year. They're going to be more dependent on him this year. It was weird that they gave Reggie Jackson that $10 million contract after he really didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And you gotta think like those resources could have been used for elsewhere. I mean, I'm not saying you can bring Reggie Jackson back, but if you offer him the vet minimum, I don't think he'll balk at it. So for them to give him $10 million, I think they expect a bigger role out of him. But it's like it's like one of those contracts that you give, and then someone like down the road around the trade deadline, do you move him in a piece to get something a little bit better to put your team on the hump? I don't know. Uh, Mike Malone, still the head coach. I like what he's done with the team. I think kind of got let go at Sacramento years ago, earlier than he should. Got the job at Denver, and then kind of as coach one of the best players in the world, and probably got one of the better guards in the world as well as Jamal Murray. And I think if they want to repeat D-Lock, Michael Porter Jr. got to be he got to be that good third wheel. I know Eric Gordon kind of filled that void, but Michael Porter Jr. is getting paid like a max player, like a franchise player. And it's every once in a blue moon she shows that, but it's got to be more on a consistent basis.
Well, that's the thing with him. We talked about it during the offseason after, like you said, after the season, we was thinking like, do they move him? Because of the consistency that he needs to present. Because he definitely hasn't done that. Injuries has definitely hurt as well.
And that's always gonna be the thing with him, injuries and stuff like that. And it seems like I hope that's behind him. But even with that though, he's got to show that consistency. Got to. I did like the draft pick of Julian Strawweather. A guy, I mean, he can score, for that squad. So I do like that draft pick for them out of Gonzaga. They didn't really do a lot of moves. Peyton Watson at UCLA, young guy probably in the G League team. Braxton Key, guys that have been bouncing around, mostly stayed with Detroit. If he can come in and possibly fill in that void that Jeff Green left with, I think he can be that dude. He's like similar build, 6'8", 6'9", can play that tween and forward position, especially in the NBA, especially at that stretch four position. I watched him out of Alabama, then went to Virginia. Can play that tween and forward pretty well. So that's another thing. Jeff Green, a valuable veteran right there. So I think, they'll be the top of the division. Do I see them repeating? Damn. I'll give it 30% chance. The field's gonna be tough, but I'll give them at least 30% is pretty good odds. But it's gonna be a fight coming out the West this year. It really is.
Yeah, you got a few decent teams. We'll talk about the other divisions, but Nuggets definitely got some work to get ready for. And they're gonna have a target on them now, definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have a target on them. And I think, for some of these teams, if they're gonna play Denver, they gotta figure out how to slow down Jokic, how the best way to defend him. He's not the most athletic center out there, but he moves in so much slow motion and stuff like that, and so crafty that he can beat you anyway. So if you're a team out there, you gotta figure out how to defend him, how to play him. Or, if he gets his stuff, he gets his stuff. But goes back to Michael Porter Jr. and even Jamal Murray, because he had a couple of stingers in the playoffs. And lucky he had Bruce Brown and company got to pick him up. Can Murray and Porter be consistent enough to override, to kind of help Jokic? I know some of y'all probably listening to this like, well, they did, but at times they kind of faded away. So if you're a team out there, hey, if I could slow down Jamal Murray and stuff like that, shut down Michael Porter Jr. that he won't do anything. They lost Bruce Brown. I could slow down Eric Gordon and make him a jump shooter. If he beats me out and outside, then he beats me. But if not, that's a great win for our Bucks. And then boom, we're looking pretty good. So my 1 for 5, Denver number 1, OKC number 2, Minnesota number 3, Utah number 4, and Portland number 5 for the Northwest Division. Go ahead.
I was just saying it's very similar. The West is very tough, so I wouldn't doubt that. We do see the only team to come up out of the division is the damn Nuggets.
And the only I guess you consider playing the playoffs. So the only playoff teams, for me, like Minnesota, OKC, and Denver. So, our first Western Conference division we previewed. We at least got 3 teams making the playoffs. That's including the play-in. So the West is gonna be hard to figure out who's gonna make the playoffs and stuff like that when we get down to the end of this thing. But any final thoughts on the Northwest Division, D-Lock?
I mean, I think this is very similar. With me, I think the biggest thing on the Northwest Division that everybody's gonna talk about is the talk of the town is this move with Dame. And I think that determines where Portland goes. So this is something that's very big. I think all the other teams kind of have their core good. They're probably not going to make any big trades, but we just want to see what's going to happen with Dame. The season is literally right around the corner, so this is something we definitely need to update on.
Yeah, I think this division is like you got one of the best teams in the league, potentially be like one of the worst teams in the league. Now it depends on when they trade Damian Lillard, but Portland will be some growing pains. Some good growing, like which team would you rather have? Like, I guess be in charge of Portland or Charlotte?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I had to really pick. It would be Portland. Because even though I know that I have a situation with Dame that has to be figured out, hell, at least I ain't got all that other stuff on Charlotte. I mean, I don't want no parts of any of that. I mean, I'd rather go in the press conference, or a conference, post conference, whatever, interview, and all they're asking me about is the Dame situation. I don't want to go in there. They ask me about Kai Jones, hell, Bridges, LaMelo. That's just too much stuff, man. So for me, I think it would be the Portland thing. And like I said, with Portland, it's just the fact that Portland they just are not. They're just still, not accepting that they're gonna have to move Dame. That's just what that is. They're trying to get a hell of a lot back in return. It's not gonna happen. Once they accept that, they will see pieces be moved. So I definitely would rather take be in control of that team than damn Charlotte.
Yeah, I think I'm probably in the same boat with you. Like with Charlotte, I don't know. Like you look at the location, for example, real quick. I don't know. They kind of both similar in a way because they both got mountains, all that stuff, and wilderness and all that stuff. Now, granted, you got the south, so you got the heat and stuff in the summer, and potential hurricanes and all that stuff. But what they kind of dealing with this weekend. But Portland, though, you know, the bad stuff seen like in the past, like you alluded to, like Kyle Jones, talking stuff about his teammates, Gordon Hayward there, you know, is he a person that kind of, likes his teammates if you catch our drift. Um, the ownership situation, Mitch Kupchak, like you alluded to, like answering questions about, the guys, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller as well. You brought that gun. You got to hear about that. But with Portland, the only thing you got to do is like trying to trade uh, Dame. Other than that, you got the young guys there. As long as they don't do nothing stupid, we're good to go. But kind of look at those two teams. I think they'll be in the bottom of the standings. For this upcoming year. We could be wrong, but I think kind of looking at these two divisions we just previewed, I think these two teams kind of will be in like the you know bottom of this draft. Now, kind of looking at the 2024 NBA mock, for the future, there's some interesting names down on the list like Ron Holland, Stephen Castle, Justin Edwards, Isaiah Collier, Jacoby Walter, Tyrese Proctor. Some interesting names, but DJ Wagner. So we'll see. But my final thoughts on this division: a lot of under the radar teams. Even the Nuggets. Some people don't think the Nuggets are under the radar. So you kind of look at the division, kind of like a lot of under the radar. Under the radar, type of stuff. I mean, deal with this, division. Jokic don't get his flowers like he should. OKC, they're under the radar right now with the only young bloods on their team. OKC, Minnesota, under the radar. Utah, definitely team under the radar. And Portland, a team is going to be under the radar until they show us a promise. So I see the chat. Larry got Denver, Minnesota number 2, OKC 3, Utah 4, Portland 5. Taryn, he got Denver winning Northwest Division. Aaron in the chat, he said he got the Nuggets. So, like I said, I think the Nuggets, they can repeat, but the West is going to be a fight. On the East side of things, we'll discuss here next week. Could somebody come out there and challenge them? Possibly, but a lot of things got to go their way. All that stuff. But I'll let you have the last word.
Like I said, I think that the biggest thing is, with this division. We want to know what happens with Dame, and there's a possibility that he may not end up in Miami for 1 year. We might be seeing a very similar situation like Kawhi Leonard going to Toronto. Now, obviously, in that situation, Toronto got a championship out of it.
Yeah.
So, what else could you really be bothered about at that point? So hell, if Kawhi say he's going to go to LA, well, hell, go take your ass over there. We'd love you to come back, but you got NBA Finals, NBA championship by any means. Go ahead. So, we could be seeing that, somewhere else. So, with Dame, and if that happens, I definitely wouldn't be shocked, because obviously the NBA is on notice that clearly whatever other packages that Miami is trying to send Portland, they're not liking too much. But listen, man, if I'm there's a few teams I'm seeing what the hell going on with this situation. I'm making a call to Portland. If I'm the LA Clippers, if I'm the Boston Celtics.
Ooh, I was gonna bring that up.
Yes, if I'm Boston. You know what? If I'm the New York Knicks, I will call as well.
Who you giving up if you're the Knicks?
I mean, it would be tough because I know you got Brunson, but oh my gosh, like you have the chance to have Dame, who, depending on what you have to get, what trade you're going to get in return, but I'm not sure who. I have to double check and look on that roster really quick. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I may not like it, but Jalen Brunson will probably be part of the trade. I wouldn't want to. Yeah, that's Damian Lillard. No. And there's other pieces that I probably would add on to it. But if I'm the Knicks, I'm probably giving a call to see what if I can throw a package in. But those just are the few teams that, like I said, I would definitely have to give a call because, again, we're talking about the East, and we'll get to that. Remember, we started off with Southeast, but the East, I mean, is already known for the least. We know that you're going to have your Boston, you're going to have your Milwaukee and Miami, Philly, who is inconsistent as hell. But hell, if you're New York, I mean, that's definitely a consideration. So, for me, I mean, like I said, a few teams. If I'm Boston, if I'm, like I said, New York, if I'm the Clippers, if I'm Milwaukee, possibly, just because I'm hearing this noise about Giannis wanting to be on a contending team. But this is all if clearly the Heat trade is just not going to happen at least for a year. If they say, well, hell, you know what? We're not trading you to Miami. That's not happening. We don't like the package deal. We don't like what the hell they're giving us. We got to find somewhere else to ship. You don't want to be here, we'll find somewhere else. If I'm one of those teams, I'm definitely giving them a call. Because if you get them for a year, like I said, you put yourself in a situation where you win a championship and it'll be worth it.
Yeah, the Boston aspect, and we'll talk about Boston to hit down the line here. But Boston, they made their moves, but not to get too deep on them. We'll save it for saving down the line. But for Boston, like they had already had plans to ship Malcolm Brogdon, so you already got that in your mind, to ship this dude down. Which I told Boston fans that dude not going to stay healthy for you, and it's going to hurt you somewhere down the line. And lo and behold, Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals, that dude only plays about 7 minutes. You're 6th man of the year, mind you. Play 7 minutes in a crucial game to take you back to the NBA Finals. So, If you cannot not trade Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and of course Porzingis, and find a way to get it done, hey, you're Portland, do it. If you had to sacrifice Al Horford and Robert Williams, hey, you got to do it. And some of the first round picks, you got to do it. But, for Dame, I hope he finds what he's looking for. I hope he gets straight to Miami what he wants. So I hope that deal gets done. It'd be nice to see him down there in Miami. If he gets traded elsewhere, I hope he shows up and plays for that team. And if he don't show up, I hope he don't get fined and start losing his money. So, there's that. But thank you for tuning in with us, ladies and gentlemen. Got a lot. Oh, let me take that back. Hold on, D-Lock. Before we get out of here, WNBA playoffs, semifinals, game 1 has begun tonight. The Liberty, they fall to game 1 to the Kinetic Suns, 78-63.
Seen that.
Oh, yeah. And our dream of New York and Las Vegas in the finals, not starting off great right now.
Big upset too, man.
Yeah, very big upset. Bonner, 20 points for her, even though she took a lot of 3-pointers in that damn game. 2 for 10 for 3-point lane. She got to clean that up next game. But 20 points for her regardless. Alyssa Thomas, almost a triple-double. 8 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds for her. So great job by her tonight. 18 points for Allen, 4 for 6 for 3-point land for her. For the New York side of things, 8 for 27 for 3-point land. Granted, I think maybe Connecticut shot a little bit worse, but Lanny having 3 points in 32 minutes, that's not going to get the job done if New York going to win the series. Brianna Stewart, 0 for 8 for 3-point land. That's not going to get done. 7 for 25 in the field. That's not going to get done. 19 points for her, though. Vandersloot, 7 points, 7 assists for her. 6 rebounds for her. Not bad stat line for her. Sabrina, 12 points for her. But the assist, I like to see those assists get up. So she got to play better as well. Then look at the other game. The Aces, 97-83 over the Dallas Wings.
It looked good too.
Asia Wilson, 34-8. No 3-pointers, only missed 6 shots. Kelsey Plum, 25 points, 5 for 10 for 3-point land. 4 assists for her, 5 rebounds for her. Damn good. Gray, 13 points for her. Clark, only 4 points off the bench, but when Wilson and Plum play like they did, I think they damn well beat the win. Also, 4 blocks for Asia Wilson as well. So keep that in mind as well. So her patrolling the paint, going a long way for Las Vegas winning this game tonight. For the Dallas side of things, 10 points off the bench for Brown and Sims. They need that again for next game if they're going any chance to beat the Las Vegas Aces. Sabally, 60 points for her. 7 assists and 7 rebounds for her, but that's not enough right there for her for the Wings. So Las Vegas up 1, the Connecticut Sun up 1. Tuesday, these teams play again. Liberty at home gets Sun, on ESPN at 7 p.m. Aces, Wings, ESPN as well, 9 o'clock there. So And then these teams will play again on Friday. So a lot of good action there for WNBA. Do follow us on Twitter/X at IE Sports Radio. Fast Break at IESR for your latest news and feeds, and we'll talk about these games. But D-Lock, how can the people find you on social media?
Guys can find me at Black Dash 813. Our Bucks do play tomorrow night against the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. So I will be talking about that.
Like I said, follow the show on Fast Break at IESR. That's Fast Break IESR. Do follow IE Sports Radio on all your social media feeds, whereas Twitter/X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok as well. Do follow us on those social media networks. Also, I do have a Twitter page myself. It's Bomb4288. That's Bomb4288 on Twitter/X. Do follow me on there. I also do another show on the side called The Crooks Process. You can follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, The Crooks Process. You'll see the CP logo right there in the script and the profile box. Do follow me on there. I did post videos for IE Sports Radio and on my Crooks Process page. Talk about the Titans lost to the Cleveland Browns early today, excuse me. But next week, we'll be back on the air, and we will be previewing. Let me get the notes here. I think we'll be previewing. I want to say. I had it up earlier. Let's see. If I get the schedule, I'll get it out to y'all. Probably had it on me, but actually going with the Atlantic Division next Sunday. So New York, Boston, Brooklyn, Toronto, Philly. That division's up next. A lot of questions there. Potential moves there. So we'll discuss that division next week here on IE Sports Radio. Your Dorit for all sports. And we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.